Donald Trump has just taken to his social media site, Truth Social, to give an update on the ceasefire proposal. He said, "I am told that the first phase should be completed this week, and I am asking everyone to move fast. I will continue to monitor this centuries-old conflict. Time is of the essence, or massive bloodshed will follow." And that's something that no one wants to see. Nobody, rather, wants to see. Thomas Pickering is former US ambassador to the UN, Jordan and Israel. He joins us from Boston, Virginia. Thomas, you heard Donald Trump there saying that this is going to happen, that peace is going to arrive in the Middle East after 3,000 years. I mean, you can chalk that down to exuberance from Donald Trump, but there seems to be a real push here and not the kind of thing that we've seen in the past. Would you agree with that?
I think there are evidences of a real push, and there are evidences, obviously, of some serious inexperience in handling negotiations with two warring parties in the Middle East, with 20 points, most of which will have to be negotiated out in terms of the details before the parties can actually put them in place, and deep distrust among the parties that the other side, in one way or another, is going to force them to break the process of moving toward peace. So the optimism is hopeful, but at the moment, I think somewhat unrealistic, but I'm perfectly pleased if I'm proved wrong.
But how much of this, Thomas, is MAGA, the actual philosophy, the base itself that's driving this? MAGA doesn't really want Israel to be a huge influence on America, and Donald Trump seems to know this and understand this better than anybody else.
Well, I'm not sure that's the case. This is a new twist in the twisting, turning process that got us to this stage. And it's clear that the president has asked in the last 3 or 4 days for a cessation of bombing and a cessation of fighting as a key instrument in starting the process off. And Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu very much want to see the movement on the hostages. That's one of the things that's been galling them for a long period of time. And while they have had hopes that they could ignore it or blame it all on Hamas, at the moment it has now come to a head. And in the next couple of days, we'll have to see whether they can move. Prime Minister Netanyahu has promised some movement on some key elements of the arrangements over Sukkot, which runs, I understand, from Monday night through Monday night the 13th next week.
Thomas, you were the ambassador to Jordan. You've been in Israel. You've got contacts across the region. Was this 20-point plan, where it allows for the at least negotiation of a Palestinian state eventually, a surprise to you? Or was it a surprise to the people you speak to?
We'll have to wait and see whether, in fact, there is an actual commitment to that part of the 20-point plan, and whether in a negotiation things are held up until everything is settled, on the basis that nothing is done until everything is put in place, or whether we will see this unroll step by step, as is often the case in these negotiations, but meet a roadblock somewhere along the line. Prime Minister Netanyahu has, until recent hours, been quite clear about not accepting a Palestinian state, and even then he's uncertain in public about what it is that he will accept with respect to that particular element. And that's key, not just to the Palestinians, of course, but to the entire side which sympathizes with the Arabs. And at the moment, Israel's policies, particularly the continued heavy bombardment and the extreme death toll among Gazan Palestinians, has left Israel isolated with very few supporters in the international community. Long that was the bulwark of Israel's capacity to mobilize international public opinion in its favor, not just as a result of the horror of the Holocaust, but as a result of its willingness and seeming efforts efforts to try to become a negotiating partner for a peaceful settlement. And that certainly was the case years ago when I had the honor of representing the United States in Tel Aviv to the Israeli government.
Thomas Pickering, always great to get your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.